Hello, amazing human beings. I'm so excited to be here with you. We are still celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. I'm super excited about this. And I'm really excited about this story and the significance behind it. There's something called Bomba Plena, right? And coming from Puerto Rico, because I'm Puerto Rican, it's a very traditional, like Christmas time event where there's dance and there's drumming and there's singing, kind of like Spanish caroling. So Ethan, there's an organization in Jersey City called Segundo Quimbamba, and it's a really amazing organization, and they're big on teaching Bomba Plena, which is the dancing and the singing part of the caroling for the Latino culture. So I'm going to show you a quick story, and then I'm going to show you a little bit of a bomba. We actually did something called a parranda. Parranda is like Christmas caroling, and we do it through Jersey City. I've been doing it for the past 2 years and I love it. And we just get to sing through the streets of Jersey City. And we stop at different areas and we kind of just sing and, maybe a little bit of dance, but not too much. And then go to the next area. And there's a lot of cool instruments involved. So I'm excited to share that with you. I'm going to share my screen now. I'm going to listen to the story first.
And the magic musical mural. Sophie was lying on her bed, looking up at the ceiling. She was so bored when Mommy walked in and said, "Sophie, please go to the bodega and get us some milk." "Okay, let me get my shoes on." As Sophie walked into the living room to get her scarf and coat, Mommy began the usual speech. "Now remember, don't talk to strangers. Go straight to the store and back." Sophie nodded and wrapped the scarf around her neck. She knew her mom would be watching from the apartment window as she walked all the way to the store at the end of the block. Once outside, Sophie looked at the mural painted on a building. It was huge. Even from across the street, she could see everything: musicians, dancers, tropical fish, a large amapola flower, and her least favorite, a gigante. She knew that the gigante was just a trickster who danced around people, trying to tap them with a vejiga, a little bag. But when Sophie looked at the sneaky smile on the gigante mask and its 3 horns, she was glad it was just a painting.
Grammarly's top
Sorry,
3
guys.
tips on starting an essay.
Let's say you're struggling to put pen.
We're back at it.
At the bodega, Sophie bought a half-gallon of milk and quickly left the store. She decided to cross the street to walk by the mural. As Sophie made her way back home, she noticed how lifelike everything looked. The colorful tropical fish swimming past her in the warm Caribbean Sea made the wintry day a little less dreary. When she came to the musicians, the pleneros, she stopped. One had his hand held out and seemed to be inviting her to dance. Sophie put down the milk and said with a giggle, "Okay, let's dance." Suddenly, Sophie found herself in the middle of Viejo San Juan on the island of Puerto Rico. She was surrounded by the music of panderetas, maracas, and guiros. "Oh, what's going on?" stuttered Sophie. "Well, you said you wanted to dance," her new friend said. Sophie, too shocked to do anything else, began to dance. Before she knew it, a group of musicians and dancers made a circle around them. They were singing a famous plena song, "La plena que yo conozco no es de la China ni del Japón, porque la plena viene de Ponce, viene del barrio de San Antón, porque la plena viene de Ponce, viene del barrio de San Antón." Soon, Sophie joined in the choir as she danced. After the song ended, the musicians began to play a song from Carnaval. Sophie didn't even have a chance to catch her breath. Toco, 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 toco. Ve gigante come coco. Toco, 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 toco. Ve gigante come coco. Out of nowhere came a person dressed in a black jumper with yellow ruffles and a red mask made from a coconut shell. It was a Gigante from the mural. Sophie tried to make a run for it, but her dance partner stopped her. Don't be afraid. Nothing's going to happen. But Sophie was sure something bad would happen when the scary-looking Gigante took her hand. Sophie wanted to scream, but instead, she tried to avoid getting bumped by the trickster's bag. The Gigante began to spin, spin, spin Sophie. When the spinning was finally over, a dizzy Sophie discovered she was now dressed as a Gigante. She touched her face. It was covered with a three-horned mask. Her black jumper had a brilliant yellow ruffle. Now, the musicians began to sing to her. Gigante está pintado, gigante está pintado, de amarillo y colorado, gigante está pintado, gigante está pintado, de amarillo y colorado, Laughing, Sophie started to dance around the church plaza, lightly tapping everyone with the vejiga. Then she opened her arms and began to spin around, ruffles billowing around her. She spun faster and faster, keeping time with the music. Before she knew what had happened, Sophie was above the dancers and musicians. She was flying. Sophie looked back and waved goodbye as she left the street party. Everyone cheered as she went soaring through the air. First, Sophie soared eastward to visit Ejunque, the rainforest. She heard the gurgling of the waterfalls and the chatter of the parrots. Then, Sophie flew over lush mountain vegetation that seemed to go on forever. After getting her fill of crisp mountain air, Sophie glided south towards the beach, where she could make out the figures of vibrant fish and spiky coral in the sapphire blue Caribbean Sea. The salty water called out to her, and she came closer and closer to the foamy white waves, ready to plunge in. Sophie, what's wrong? I've been calling you, and all you've done is stand here, staring at this mural. What's going on? Mommy asked, annoyed. Startled, Sophie looked down at herself. She was no longer clad in a colorful Gigante outfit. Mommy, I'm sorry, lo siento. I was just looking at the mural and, she muttered, as she bent to pick up the milk. Sophie took her mom's hand and started walking home. She glanced at the mural one last time to admire her sister's name, Esmeralda Pagan, on the long list of students who had helped paint the mural. Silently, Sophie and her mom climbed up the 2 flights of stairs. Back in her apartment, Sophie went to her bedroom window and looked at the mural across the street. The pueblo sings, el pueblo cantor. Now, the Gigante didn't seem so scary. Staring at the mural, Sophie could have sworn she saw the Gigante wink. Maybe this really is a singing and dancing town, Sophie said to herself quietly. Then, Sophie began to hum and dance a plena, her arms outstretched to her friends across the street. It was so much fun to read this special story with you, to learn
I love this story because that was the author who was presenting to you. So I forgot that I wanted to show you some of Ethan's Bomba Plena stuff. So I'm going to go back into sharing my screen. And sorry, so much stuff pops up. Let's go right over here. And you can see a little bit of what we did. I was actually part of this. And some of the singing, and this was right here in Jersey City. I'll just play a little bit of it. So I wanted to share that with you, a little bit of parranda, like just singing and caroling through the streets. Have a super amazing day. Make good choices. Make sure that you're intentional about being kind and making good choices. Have a great day.